Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 25th of April. The first important news is about the Vibrant Village Plan that government is planning to merge with the PM Gati Shakti scheme. Second, malaria said to be a notifiable disease across India. Third, India China to hold frank and in-depth talks. We have seen the escalation ongoing in the region of line of actual control in the eastern Ladakh region. Fourth, that is Operation Kaveri to rescue national standard in Sudan, the turmoil that is ongoing in the Sudan, and most of the Indian are standard, the number is close to 4,000. And the last is an editorial, wages are rising. We'll see the comparison between the authors that they have written the article in the Indian Express newspaper. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. And if you are preparing for CSC 2023, you need to have a good quality test series for your practice. And we and Apti Plus are providing 60 high quality tests where the complete test will include 6,000 plus questions. There's ample questions to practice and build your strong foundation for a given subject and topic. Along with that, you will be also provided with the IAS Guested monthly magazine that is a must read for the current affairs. These test series can be availed both online and offline. So do check it out. मैंने वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक दिए हुए जहां से आप ज़्यादा डिटेल्स ले सकते हैं. Register for this particular test series. Now, starting with the first news, that is Vibrant Village Plan to be merged with the PM Gati Shakti. This program is very much in the news. Government is planning to increase the penetration and infrastructure development in the northeastern region and also in the region for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. It's a very important program by the government of India. So this particular news is important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So what was the decision that was taken by the center? The central government has said that the Vibrant Village program, which aims to develop the infrastructure and open the village, which is specifically in the region for the Indo-China border, to make it a tourist hub. This part of the VVP will be integrated with the Prime Minister Gati Shakti mega project, a very important project for the infrastructure development in the country. You can expect a direct question on the Vibrant Village program in prelims examination and even for the PM Gati Shakti. And even you can use this as an example purposes in the mains paper, right? So the digital platform of the Gati Shakti will bring 60 ministries which will look into the part of the overall development which is taking place in the infrastructure project. This will include the ministries from the railway, highway that will come together for the integrated planning and the coordinated implementations of the infrastructure connectivity project will allow the department to break the part of the silos which is there and even to help the sector to perform well and even delivery on time, right? So very important scheme, that is PM Gati Shakti project. Now, before I proceed further with the news, I just wanted to give you a brief about the Gati Shakti master plan. What is this all about? Because you can expect a direct question from the prelims from this topic, right? So roadways capacity has to be increased under this master plan. Railway transport cargo capacity will be increased by 1600 ton by 2025 financial year की बात की गई है. Renewable capacity to be increased by 225 gigawatt by the financial year 2025 and around 200 new airport helipads water aerodrome were envisaged. Transmissions network to be increased by 4,54,200 circuit kilometers And if you see the part of connectivity, most of the area is even not having roadways connectivity, but the government is looking forward with the 4G connectivity for the villages for the financial year 2022, and around 20 new mega food park will also be established. So these are the broad vision of the government under the Gati Shakti master plan. Now coming back to the news that we are discussing about the Vibrant Village program and its merger with the PM Gati Shakti plan. So how things will work, government has come up that the satellite images will be used. So there is a Bhaksha Acharya National Institute of Space and Appliances in Gujarat that has been roped to provide the satellite images as well as GIS, that is the global imaging system that will be used to positions and undertake the part of the scheme, right? And it will be also tracking the infrastructure and other land uses in the broader village in the real-time monitoring. So this is how the backend support will be provided to implement and augment this program. Now implementation of Vibrant Village program की अगर बात करें, actually Union Cabinet ने 15th February 2023, this is 2023, the Cabinet has approved this program to cover close to 2,967 village, which is 46 border blocks and 19 districts of the 4 states and the Union territories bordering China, right? Out of this, 662 villages were prioritized for the coverage as per the Government of India, right? और इस टोटल स्कीम्स के लिए एलोकेशंस की गई हैं 4,800 करोड़ रुपीस फॉर द फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2023, 25 and 26. And the amount allocated will be mostly focusing on the part of the infrastructure that will call for the road construction and amounting to 2,500 crore rupees. Now, the basics about the Vibrant Village program, as I have discussed this news several times, but just to give you the brief idea what this VVP is all about. So the Vibrant Village scheme was first announced in the budget 2022. The program target to develop a comprehensive development of village on the border of basically the 4 states and the states that is bordering China to improve the quality of the life and even the people who are living in the border areas, वहाँ पे migrations को कम की जा सके, ये कोशिश है गवर्नमेंट की to reduce the part of the migration that is going, thus helping to boost the part of the security. Social security will be provided there only, and the livelihood option will be provided there only. The highest priority of the Vibrant Village includes some of the key areas that has been identified by the Government of India, and these include the part of road connectivity, drinking water, power including the solar and wind energy, because India is committed to move towards the renewable energy. So among them, solar and wind energy is the best option. Mobile and internet access, I have told you, 4G will be installed. Tourist attraction will be increased in this area. Multiple facilities will be there, multi-purpose facilities, and healthcare and infrastructure and wellness centers, so that the people residing in the interior and the remotest area of the country will also be able to avail the health and infrastructure. Basically, जो health की facilities है, जो basic amenities है, वो उनको मुहैया कराया जा सके. Now, objective of the schemes की अगर बात करें, that is the Vibrant Village program. The scheme aims to identify and develop the economic drivers based on local, natural, human and other resources of the border village. Development of the growth center, that is the hub and spoke model will be there, जहाँ पे जो social entrepreneurship है उसको बढ़ावा दी जाएगी. Even empowering of the youth will be there. Skill development will be the another core objective of the Vibrant Village program. And one of the other objective of the Vibrant Village program is to stop the migrations of the border populations. Now, moving to the other news of the day, that is malaria set to be notified disease across India, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of health. So recently, the government has decided, the Ministry of Health Affairs has noted that the malaria is set to become a notifiable disease across the country. Although the number of malaria is decreasing, but the potential progress which was expected is not there, but we can say that substantial progress has been made. The country to be made malaria free by 2027 and to eliminate the disease by 2030. राइट. दिस इज समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. गवर्नमेंट ने और भी कई सारी डिजीज के लिए टारगेट सेट किए हुए हैं. सिकल सेल एनीमिया की बात कीजिए, देयर इज अदर प्रॉब्लम आल्सो. सो यू हैव टू नो द टाइमलाइन. दिस कैन बी डायरेक्टली रेलेवेंट फॉर द prelims examination. The Ministry of Health Affairs has also noted that the joint action plan will be there in collaboration with the Ministry of Tribal Affairs for the elimination of malaria in the tribal areas also, because these are the area where the growth of the mosquitoes are on the higher numbers. So वहाँ पे reductions के लिए tribal affairs ministries के साथ भी collaborations की जा रही है. Malaria is not just a public health issue, but it is also a social, economic, and political challenge that require cooperations among all stakeholders. Now, malaria cases के trend की अगर बात करें, which you see with this graph, this is clearly evident from since 2015 the cases is decreasing. The data is still 2019. So India was on the high burden when it comes to the impact of the malaria, specifically in the Southeastern Asian countries, and now the trend is declining comparatively from the part 2019. India has witnessed 85.1% decline in the malaria cases, and 83.3% decline has been there, and the death that was there on the higher number is decreasing. But definitely the target that is set by the government of India is for 2027, and the final target, that is to completely eliminate malaria, is by 2030. Now states की efforts की भी यहाँ पे ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. Some states have shown their interest on the part of this. So states of Bihar, Andaman and Nicobar, this is UT, and the part of Meghalaya too are putting their part of the efforts when it comes to the vector-borne diseases in this category. And then they will require to have a law that the cases would be reported to the government authorities to have a final calculations on the total number of the cases that has been reported. And currently malaria is a notifiable disease in 33 states and union territories in the country. Now preparedness की अगर बात करें, what are the efforts that has been made in this regard? So Ministry of Health Affairs, the nodal ministry to take care for the part of the preparation, has added that there is now availability of near real time data monitoring. तो एक system create की गई है. There's a part of technology that is used, so the data monitoring on the real time basis will be there, and this will be integrated with the health information platform that will be called as HIB malaria portal. Very important, directly relevant for prelims examination. And periodic and regional reviews meeting to keep check on the malaria growth will be taken care with this platform and the data monitoring. Malaria is more prevalent among the young child whose mother have a low educations in the rural area, because people are actually not aware of the prevention part. So because of the lack of the knowledge, also the number of the cases are on the higher side. Reaching to this population will be available to the malaria prevention. Diagnosis भी एक बहुत बड़ी problem है. People are not able to identify that whether this is malaria or normal fever. Treatment sometimes goes critical if you're not treated within time. So achieving the goal of the technical strategy of malaria like 2016 and 13 are also the part of the sustainable development goal will be very important, because we have a target under the sustainable development goal providing health for all. So this call for the part of the elimination of malaria also. So what we need to do at the ground, we need to work so that the awareness campaign, the part of the prevention and the diagnosis is improved. And moving to the other important news, that is India, China hold frank and in-depth talks. So this is related to your general studies paper 2 in the mains paper, that is India and its neighborhood relations. So recently, the 18th round of talks between the senior military commanders from both India and China was held, and the meeting was held at the Chinese side at the Chuxul-Moldo border at the meeting point, a day ahead of the first visit of the China's defense minister since the start of the crisis, right? There's no significant progress that has been made with regards to the line of actual control or Eastern Ladakh की अगर बात करें. So that part, the progress is not made. Let's see how both government is looking with this resolution. The 18th round of the talk followed first in-person meeting of the working mechanism and consultation coordinations on India and China border affairs since 2019. Now, agenda of the meeting की अगर बात करें, both India and China had a frank and in-depth discussion on the resolutions for the relevant issues with regards to the line of actual control in the western sector, so that they can restore the peace and tranquility in the region. We have seen that a lot of meeting ongoing. So that is evident from the fact that this is 18th number of meeting. There has been 17th meeting. There's no progress that has been made, right? Now, talking on the part of the Chinese foreign minister spokesperson said that according to an important common understanding, the leaders of both countries are looking forward with an in-depth enhancing their views and expediting the resolutions on the relevant issue. So see, when it comes to statement from China, India directly do not rely on that, because Chinese has been saying about the part their stand is not clear and they had not been stick to the what they have earlier said. So we have to see whether the resolution are there on the paper or not. There's any diplomatic part of the solution that is given or not. So beside the review, the situation along the LAC has to be discussed in the proposal, and the disengagement is something which India is looking for the priority. This move will restore the part of peace and tranquility in the region of line of actual control in the western sector to create a conditions for restoration of normalcy in the bilateral relationship between India and China, which has been holding for a long. Now, India के क्या stand है? India has maintained a disengagement and subsequent de-escalations along the LAC, which has seen 10,000 of the troops deployment in the forward areas, both critical to restore ties, and relationship has been in a state of freeze in 2000, right? So India has yet again given the green light of resuming, basically yet had not given the part of the green light. अभी जिस समय से पेंडेमिक के टाइम में जो लॉकडाउन हुई थी उसके बाद से इंडिया ने de-escalations के बाद neither they have given any signals, not they're looking to do this until unless we have a clear cut part of the policies coming out of the Eastern Ladakh region. Then only India will look forward to start the trade also on a larger scale and to start the part of the flight operating between India and China. Now, moving to the other news, Operation Kaveri to rescue the national that is stranded in Sudan. The condition in Sudan is not good. The turmoil is ongoing. There's a collapse of the system, and the government of India is concerned about the Indian national standard there. Important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementation. So India has recently launched an Operation Kaveri to evacuate the Indian national who was stranded in Sudan. You can see these are the images from the embassies part where the people have come up with the images. They have shared the image over Twitter and they have officially tweeted to the Indian official also. But definitely India is looking forward to take an operation. This will be taken care with the help of Indian Navy, where most of the people which is stranded will be coming back to India. So the rescue operation is currently underway and around 500 Indian national has reached the port of Sudan. So the name become important, Operation Kaveri, right? There can be a direct question in prelims and many other government examination. Sudan has been witnessing a deadly fighting between the country's army and the paramilitary group for the last 11 days, and around 400 people has been found dead. And the government is focusing on the safety of 3,000 of Indian citizens, which is currently located in the Sudan. Evacuation operations की अगर बात की जाए, Ministry of External Affairs is coordinating on the part of the evacuation process. With the approval from the ministry, there is 2 C-130 aircraft that will also be provided. And apart from this, INS Sumedha, which is on a standby to evacuate the violence hit areas of Afghan nations. And as per the official data, 400 Indian are stuck in Sudan. So it's a good number. Definitely the government of India is concerned about all the citizens of Indian national who are stranded over there. Now, what is happening in Sudan? Why the things got worse? Sudan has been facing a conflict between the country army and the paramilitary group for past 11 days. There's the lack of governance, which is there, the collapse of the government in terms of the army. And they claim that 427 lives, including 273 civilian and over 3,700 people have been wounded in the incident. Now, the warring fraction have agreed to 72 hours ceasefire that has been beginning today in the Western Arab and Asian nations to evacuate the part of the countries. And even अगर बात करें Sudanese की, they are the people from the neighboring country that flew in the past few days, that the बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग थे जिनको neighboring countries में जाना पड़ा. That countries include the part of Egypt, Chad and the South Sudan. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, wages are rising, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. This is also important for General Studies paper 3, where Indian economy and issues related to it are mentioned in the syllabus. So what we'll be discussing in this editorial, the theme and the focus of this editorial is the rural wage. First, we'll see the part of the data sources for reference, differences in the data intensity, error in the estimations, wage growth क्या है और पूरी conclusions की बात करेंगे. So in this editorial or in this article, the focus is upon the real wage, and the comparison has been made by the author, and he said that Gene Dressy, who has actually written an article previously on Indian Express, and he said that the wage is not increasing. So there's a comparison which has been made. This author is stating on the part that this minimally we have increased, but it's on the increasing trend. So rural real wage की अगर बात करें, it is an important indicator for the well-being of the individual, especially for the poor. And India's well-known economist, that is Gene Dressy, who is basically working in the interior of the Jharkhand, and he has been working diligently on the part of Manrega, right? Agar Manrega ki baat kare, he has been working on that. So he has recently said that there has been no significant growth in the real wage at the national level, at all India level in the past 8 years. So this was a statement which was made by him. So his major point is like on the stark destruction of the contract between the rapid growth of the Indian economy and the sluggish growth of the real wages between 2014 and 2021. So now comparison on the part of the data sources of reference, both the part of the author has taken different source of data, but actually not the different source of data. The बात करें अगर Gene Dressy की has obtained the data from the RBI websites, and that use the fact that the website does not report the wages of the rural worker. This is what the part of the editor who has written this has said, that something the data were taken is not the main data, or that is not the inferential data that should be taken. Now, actually, the source of the data is the Labor Bureau, which publication is made in terms of the real rural wages. तो उनको Gene Dressy को जो data है वो यहाँ से लेने की जरूरत थी, Labor Bureau से, ना कि RBI से, right? And it reports that the rural wages for 38 occupational, 24 men's and 14 women's. Now, there's a sharp differences, however, in the selections of the data that was taken for the estimations, and both authors have compared on their best capacity that what is the current conditions. Now, differences in the data intensity. Data intensity की अगर बात करें, data intensity between the two methods has been illustrated in the different means. Real wage की अगर बात करें in agriculture and the labor is different. जो Dressy है उन्होंने 16 unit of macro informations ली, that include the part of national average for each year and the national average for the CPI, right? CPI जिसे कहते हैं, that is the consumer price index for agriculture labor. Now, in case of 20 states, 8 years, 12 months in each year was taken. Now, if you see the part of the male agriculture laborers, 228 unique observations किए गए हैं in the part 8 years, and 1824 were the observation which was made, and 240 observation each price level for 20 rural population. So there's a difference. These two authors are comparing on that part, right? So the main part of this editorial is that to help you understand on the part of the trend that is ongoing. If you have been asked in interview, तो आपको ये बताना पड़ेगा कि एक्चुअल में कौन सी डेटा ऑथेंटिक होती है जब लेबर फोर्स की वेजेस की अगर बात करें, वेदर वी शुड बी टेकिंग इनटू द पार्ट ऑफ द आरबीआई डेटा और वेदर द लेबर ब्यूरो डेटा विच इज रिलीज्ड. Now, error in estimations की बात की गई. The problem of Dressy estimate does not include just data or the observation. It may extend his chosen time period for the analysis of 2014 to 21, and after which COVID was there. So the part has already been stagnant. So no study generally combined the pre-COVID and the COVID years without mentioning a difference. And in the intensity, the super outliner is devastating with the unmatched real wages in the history. And a formulation recounting has happened in the GDP and the rural wages in 2019-20, and that's it yet to be conducted. Now wage growth की अगर बात करें, the wage growth for men is showing plugging and harvesting has averaged between 2.6%. This is the data that was given by the latest author. And his real wage consistent on the part of the per capita GDP, that is 5.9% in the next 5 years. Of this 5 year comparatively for the past 5 years, with reference to the per capita of the GDP, that is averaged to 6.4% during the higher growth. और अगर उसी पीरियड में बात करें वेज ग्रोथ की, दिस इज शोइंग प्लगिंग एंड हार्वेस्टिंग हैज बीन 3%. सो यहाँ पे 2.6% थी, नाउ इट इज 3% marginally. So we can see that yes, the number or the marginal increase has been evident. But to conclude the part, and before I conclude, if you see the part of the periodic labor force survey, it says that women participation is low. This is one evidential fact, but it also says that the men's की जो पार्टिसिपेशन है वो बड़ी है और बहुत हद तक जो वेजेस हैं उनमें भी कुछ हद तक इंक्रीज देखी गई है, राइट. सो दीज वर द पार्ट ऑफ द पीरियोडिक लेबर फोर्स सर्विस. इफ यू आर राइटिंग, यू हैव टू नो amalgamate on the part of the data that is there from there also. Now, according to the leak result for 2017-18 survey shows that the real rural per capita consumption has declined by 8% over 11-12, and the real wage between 2014 and 18 shows the average male and female wages in agriculture that has grew up to 2.9%, और अलग अलग सेक्टर में ये 3.0 के आसपास भी है, एवरेजिंग अप टू 16% अबव 2013 और 14 के लेवल से अगर कंपेयर करें तो 16% तक की ग्रोथ नोटिस की गई है. दिस इज व्हाट द ऑथर इज सेइंग इन दिस आर्टिकल. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option was A, and for second question, the correct option was C. Today's MCQ for practice, that is the sickle cell diseases, with the following statement. Sickle cell is a group of disorder that affects hemoglobin. Hemoglobin इसमें affect होती है, and the symptoms of the sickle cell are caused by the sickling of the white cells. So you have to understand the part of the how hemoglobin is affected, how the white blood cell are impacted, because there can be a direct question of the sickle cell anemia disease, because government has set target to eliminate the part of sickle cell anemia and even the sickle cell diseases. Now, considering the part of the Artemis 1 mission, it is created by the mission 1 of the NASA that aims to build the perform of the human presence in the moon. So this type of missions which is there in the news can be directly relevant for the prelims examinations. So you have to choose for the correct options, and practicing a lot more question will give you an added advantages over the upcoming prelims examination. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.